Calaroga Shark Media.
Happy New Year! I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, a daily briefing on stand-up comedy, comedians, and the comedy industry, which is a sentence you would say if you were goosing the Spotify algorithm. But I don't have time for that right now because I want to share with you Deadline's 20 stand-ups to keep an eye on in 2026. Yes, we have made it to 2026, and we must keep an eye on these 20 stand-ups according to Deadline. Now, before I look at the list, just want to point out, Deadline is an industry trade, and I'm saying that because along the way, I noticed that they wanted to let you know which agent represented which comedian, which I don't care about at all, like zero, no interest in that. But this is an industry trade, so I'm not saying the list is bad, but I am saying it is possible, perhaps maybe that it could be possible, hypothetically, that Deadline has a relationship with these agencies, and, you know, agents were on the phone being like, hey, you know who's somebody you should keep an eye on is Joe Schmo. Like, it's possible, if you understand an infinite universe, right? There's just an infinite combination of things that could happen, and if you understand how infinity works, in one of the multiverses, that could have happened, and we might be in that multiverse. Now, mathematically, this is a straight-up list where the agents didn't influence the list at all, but mathematically, if you understand infinity, there is a statistical chance that we are in the one multiverse where that took place. I'm just saying. Now that we've established this, Deadline writes, as was the case last year, our focus was on strong joke writers with original voices. Well, that's good. At a time where there are plenty of incredibly successful digital creators in comedy who also do stand-up, we chose to focus on artists who are stand-ups before all else. All right, I like it. We considered neither comedy groups nor comics who have had the benefit of a game-changing opportunity like Saturday Night Live. We also tried to avoid stand-ups who have featured repeatedly on other lists because what's the point of regurgitating? All right, in alphabetical order, they list Vittorio Angeloni. I'm going to say great pick. He is one of two killer Irish comics who have made the list. I have seen him with my own eyes. Now, I've been keeping an eye on him because I'm of Irish descent, so I always find Irish comedians interesting. Plus, he's Irish and his name is Vittorio Angeloni, not exactly Seamus O'Reilly. You know what I'm saying? So he's been on my radar. Plus, I saw him up at Montreal last year, as they say now, that's 2026. A 2025 JFL new face, Angeloni grew up in Belfast and began working as a stand-up after moving to London after a period training as a classical musician. He's really good. You should check him out. Mary Beth Barone. All right, she's been on our radar. We talk about Mary Beth Barone sometimes. Deadline says a multi-hyphenate on the rise. If you understand how infinity works statistically, in one of the multiverses, an agent would have said, hey, you should call her a multi-hyphenate, because she is a multi-hyphenate on the rise. Mary Beth Barone inked a deal for Netflix to release her first hour-long comedy special, Galaxy Brain. She'll tape in New York City on March 19th. Happens to be ripped by the same agency as Vittorio Angeloni. That's weird. All right, Raffi Bastos. I'm not familiar with Raffi, a Brazilian-American stand-up considered a pioneer of his home country's modern comedy movement. Raffi Bastos is ready for his breakout stateside after hitting YouTube with Unfamiliar Territory. Actually, I think we did talk about him, but it was 12 months ago. I can barely remember what I had for breakfast. Once recognized as the most influential person on Twitter by the independent research film Twitalizer, currently has a following of nearly 18 million across social platforms. I have to look that up because I'm going to guess that the President of the United States is pretty influential and is on Twitter. But let me see. Oh, interesting. In 2011, the New York Times named him the most influential person on Twitter. That's 15 years ago. Has he been on the part of Twitter that I never see? Because I'm on the part where we're talking about the Mets and the Knicks. It's 15 years ago. All right, whatever. Move on, Sean. He has a different agency than the first two comedians. Ryan Davis is a Charlotte native who debuted his latest stand-up special, Underrated, on the YouTube channel of comedian Ali Sadiq in October. Racked up 2.3 million views. Bo Johnson. I know Bo. I tell you a secret. I recorded a whole interview with Bo, and the audio was bad, and I couldn't fix it, and I really tried. I used every trick I know. I felt so bad. I just called up here. I see the file, Bo-Johnson 91124.wave. I still have it. Here, you want to hear a little? All right, I'll pull a little for you.
When I was starting, before I even found stand-up, was like everyday life humor, and Mitch Hedberg was like the first comic I found.
That's Bo Johnson. Wish the audio was better. I'd play the whole interview. He was really cool. I really liked him a lot. All right, who is he, John? He's a Seattle native with a compellingly low-key delivery. Yeah, I watched a bunch of his sets in prep for the interview. I thought he was fantastic. Deadline said they were going to mention different comedians that haven't been on every list. Jay Jordan, he's been on lists. This is not an unknown person. Jay recently released a strong debut special in Yes Ma'am, a fast-paced, punchline-filled love letter to what it means to be black, southern, and queer. Produced by Comedy Dynamics, it premiered on Hulu on November 7th. Next up, we have Orion Levine, named a new face at Just for Laughs Comedy in 2022. I can't remember if I went that year, and I can't remember if I saw Orion. In his Friday night live show, Read the Room, Levine and a tarot card reader help answer life's burning questions from audience members and celebrity guests to a sold-out audience. Oh, he's got that same agency that a lot of the others have. Interesting. Ismail Lufti, we've definitely talked about him. He's got 2 Don't Tell comedy sets. A lot of Don't Tell comedy on this list. That's interesting. He was a writer on After Midnight, Rama Youssef's animated series #1 Happy Family USA. Remember that happened? Because I forgot that happened. Do you remember that happened? And Netflix's Patriotic Act with Hassan Minhaj, named a new face in 2016. Wow. Laura Peak has emerged from Nashville's comedy scene, was named a new face for 2022. Now I'm convinced I didn't go in 2022. I love this. I love this phrasing. Again, if you understand how the multiverse works, this may have been fed to them by an agency. Here's the line. She has been seen on the road with Taylor Tomlinson, Fortune Feimster, and Theo Von. Okay, I'm going to give you my credits. I've been seen on the road with Jeff Foxworthy, Bill Engvall, Larry the Cable Guy, Ron White, Jamie Foxx, Jim Brewer, Pete Corielli. Let's see, Maj Jobrani. Been seen on the road with him. Weird phrasing. All right, Mike Rice. The other Irish comic on the list is Mike Rice, roommate and collaborator of Vittorio Angeloni. Apparently they host a podcast together. Mike and Vittorio's Guide to Parenting. His first special in 2023, An Irish Disgrace. And what do you know? He's got the same agency. That's weird. How far down this list am I? I lost track. Looks like there's a lot left. Let's see how far we get. All right. Red Richardson is an English stand-up writer and actor with a look and style not quite like any comedian Deadline has come across. He's also from Don't Tell Comedy. A regular performer at Ricky Gervais' live shows under the banner of Ricky Gervais and Friends. Richardson has also appeared in numerous comedy sketches with Ricky Gervais and is affiliated with Ricky's vodka company, Dutch Barn. See, that's what Jim Gaffigan needs to do. The Jim Gaffigan Bourbon Tour, where Jim gets a bunch of other guys to do stuff, and then Jim shows up and does like 5 minutes and drinks a bourbon. There's money in that, Jim. Do it. Erica Rhodes. Deadline says Erica Rhodes is one of those comics who's been working for a long time, but never gets enough credit for how good she is. Currently, she's on her Call Me Crazy tour. Also has a Don't Tell comedy set. I'm seeing a trend here. She was a finalist on NBC's Bring the Funny, where Jeff Foxworthy praised her as the best defined comic voice of the competition. When was NBC's Bring the Funny? When was that? Did I erase that from my brain? I remember Last Comic Standing because I hated that because I was running the comedy channels at SiriusXM at the time. People would be like, how come we're not playing so-and-so? I'm like, because so-and-so has 8 seconds of material, which you saw on NBC last night. That's why. Bring the Funny aired July 9th to September 17th, 2019. That's just when I had started the podcast, too. You learn something new every day hosting this show. Next up, Leah Rudick. All right, we're up to the R's. I guess that's one way I could tell how far I am down the list. She began her comedy career in New York with her sketch duo Skinny Bitch Jesus Meeting. That's a great name. And co-wrote and co-starred in both web series Made to Order and Sweet Parents. We are to keep an eye on Leah Rudick in 2026. Rachel Scanlon, LA-based stand-up host, writer, and podcaster, originally from Minnesota. She regularly opens for the likes of Eliza Schlesinger and Fortune Feimster. She's appeared on After Midnight, Eliza's Locals, and Comics Unleashed, which is what's going to pass for late-night shows pretty soon. Oh, and what do you know? She's got the same reps as a lot of other people on the list. Brittany Schmidt. She's been seen opening for the likes of Theo Von and Chris Redd. Schmidt's rise has been fueled not only by the strength of her comedy, but also by the specificity of her voice. In her act, she speaks candidly about sobriety, relationships, womanhood, sexuality, the strange, darkly funny corners of personal transformation, and more. She's got different representation. Interesting. Usama Siddiqui, a Bengali-American stand-up writer and actor based out of New York City. Usama's jokes range from growing up Muslim in Texas to dating misadventures and even a story of getting kicked off America's Got Talent. Has opened for the likes of Hassan Minhaj and Morgan Jay, winner of the Laughing Devil Cup Comedy Festival, the Yonkers Comedy Festival, and the Make Me Laugh Albany Comedy Festival. Clearly a massive force in the areas near New York City, but not within. Carolyn Hirsch shouted him out as a comic to watch at the 2025 New York Comedy Festival. Jenny Tian, a regular on the comedy circuit in Sydney, Australia. Jenny recently relocated to New York and completed her first tour of the States. Seen opening for Hannah Gadsby, Nish Kumar, and Ronnie Chang. I feel like we checked out some of her clips during one of the Sydney comedy festivals on this very podcast at some point. Next up, TJ, a stand-up born and raised in Haiti. TJ learned English by watching George Carlin stand-up and Jon Stewart on The Daily Show. After the devastating Haitian earthquake in 2010, TJ realized life was too short not to pursue his passion and did his first open mic in a basement on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. TJ has opened for Colin Quinn, Janelle James, Maria Bamford, and Sean Patton. Aaron Weber, fixture of the Nashville comedy scene, regular performer at the Grand Ole Opry. One of the co-hosts of the Nateland podcast. You may know some of the other names on the Nateland podcast. They include Brian Bates, Dusty Slay, and Nate Bargatze. So yeah, if you're hanging out with Nate all the time, you're definitely somebody to keep an eye on. We might as well add Brian Bates to this list too, and we already know about Dusty Slay. Aaron Weber released his first half-hour special, Signature Dish, with the 800-pound gorilla. But we have more W's. Brent Weinbach. Brent's been around, no? Deadline writes, while Brent Weinbach is a veteran of the all-comedy world, he nonetheless needs to be looked at much more closely by the town. I assume the town is Los Angeles. He's someone you could see breaking out not only as a stand-up, but also in film and TV with the right vehicle. Known for his absurdist style, experimental delivery, meticulous joke writing, and highly original impressions, Brent Weinbach was described by the New York Times' Jason Zinnemann, we know him, as akin to the Nation Fielder of the stand-up world. All right. Also a recipient of the Andy Kaufman Award. And those are your stand-ups to watch in 2026, according to Deadline. And that is your comedy news for today. Happy New Year. Tomorrow on this program, something. Hopefully someone will make some comedy news. Otherwise, Mike Chisholm, where are you? I got to have a conversation to fill some time. Let's record something. I don't know. There'll be a podcast tomorrow. There always is. Don't worry. See you then.